Caitlin Clark got to the podium and let it be known that Stephanie White was her problem tonight, not the refs. Pay attention to this.
Do you guys feel like any of the officiating rule changes are impacting how you're able to play as a team defensively?
Officiating wasn't my problem tonight.
The officiating wasn't my problem tonight. You see what her problem was. It's that damn trash-ass head coach Stephanie White. Fucking blinking all weird like...
The temperature surrounding Caitlin Clark and Stephanie White may have reached its highest point yet. What started as another frustrating night for the Indiana Fever quickly transformed into a much larger conversation about leadership, accountability, and the future of the franchise. For many fans watching, the story was no longer simply about missed shots, foul trouble, or defensive breakdowns. The story became the relationship between Caitlin Clark and Stephanie White. Every great superstar eventually reaches a crossroads with a coach. Sometimes that relationship becomes the foundation of a championship dynasty. Sometimes it becomes the beginning of a divorce. Right now, supporters of Caitlin Clark are openly wondering whether the partnership between Caitlin Clark and Stephanie White is heading toward the second outcome. The frustration exploded because Caitlin Clark is not viewed as just another player. Caitlin Clark represents the biggest attraction in women's basketball. Every substitution involving Caitlin Clark is analyzed. Every coaching decision involving Caitlin Clark is scrutinized. Every visible disagreement involving Caitlin Clark instantly becomes national discussion. When emotions boil over on the sideline, when cameras capture tense moments, and when fans believe Caitlin Clark is being limited rather than empowered, the reaction becomes enormous. Suddenly, the focus shifts away from the scoreboard and toward a far bigger question. Is Stephanie White helping maximize Caitlin Clark, or is Stephanie White becoming the biggest obstacle standing in front of the Indiana Fever's success? That question now hangs over every game, every press conference, and every decision moving forward.
I guess you guys started on an 8-2 run, and then after Portland took timeout, kind of just flipped the script. Just what changed either on their end or on your end?
I just thought they were the hungrier team.
No, what changed was you took Caitlin Clark out with 6 minutes and 30 seconds left in the fucking first quarter. That's what changed. She had 2 points, 3 rebounds, 2 points, 3 assists, and a rebound. We up 8-4. You put her back in when we down 17-10. Whole game flipped upside down. Turned into an all-out shit show by the time.
The most intense criticism aimed at Stephanie White centers on one issue: timing. According to the reaction presented in the transcript, many supporters believed Caitlin Clark was helping establish offensive rhythm early. Caitlin Clark was creating opportunities, moving the basketball, and generating scoring chances. Yet the substitution pattern removed Caitlin Clark from the floor at a moment when momentum appeared to be developing. That is where the controversy exploded. Basketball games are often decided by runs. A team builds confidence. A crowd gets energized. A star player begins controlling the pace. Then suddenly everything changes. When Caitlin Clark left the floor, critics argued the game immediately shifted direction. Whether that assessment is completely fair or not is almost beside the point. The perception became reality in the minds of many fans. Once the opposing team gained momentum, every coaching decision made by Stephanie White came under attack. The criticism intensified because Caitlin Clark has developed a reputation for changing games quickly. A few possessions from Caitlin Clark can erase deficits. A single shooting burst from Caitlin Clark can transform the atmosphere inside an arena. Because of that reputation, supporters are naturally uncomfortable whenever Caitlin Clark spends long stretches watching from the bench. The larger issue is trust. Do fans trust Stephanie White's rotation strategy? Do fans believe Stephanie White is maximizing the strengths of Caitlin Clark? Do fans feel the Fever offense is built around what Caitlin Clark does best? Those questions have become increasingly difficult for the organization to avoid. The danger for Stephanie White is that once a fan base begins questioning substitutions, every future substitution becomes controversial. Every timeout becomes controversial. Every lineup change becomes controversial. And that creates pressure that follows a coach into every game.
3 assists in the first 3 minutes of the game, then both her and Aaliyah checked out, I think, around the 6:30 mark. Then Portland went on a 13-2 run. Just what was the reasoning for checking them out, or did they either of them request a sub?
Well, AB's still on a minutes restriction, so she's coming out. And typically that's around the same time that we've been taking Caitlin out.
Why though? Why? Why can't you go game by game and figure it out? Why is it that no matter how she's doing, she has to come out with 6.5 minutes left in the first quarter? Why? Why?
The most fascinating part of this situation may not be tactical, it may be psychological. Throughout basketball history, superstar-coach relationships have often determined championships and careers. Great coaches understand that managing elite talent requires balance. Accountability matters, structure matters, discipline matters, but superstar confidence matters too. The challenge for Stephanie White is that Caitlin Clark arrived in the WNBA carrying unprecedented expectations. Opponents game plan specifically for Caitlin Clark. Arenas sell tickets because of Caitlin Clark. Television audiences tune in because of Caitlin Clark. That reality creates unique pressure. If Stephanie White coaches aggressively, critics say she is limiting Caitlin Clark. If Stephanie White gives Caitlin Clark complete freedom, critics say she lacks structure. Either way, scrutiny follows. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark continues operating under a microscope unlike anything most players experience. Every facial expression is analyzed. Every interaction is discussed. Every post-game comment becomes headline material. That environment can create tension even when everyone involved is trying to accomplish the same goal. Historically, the most successful coach-superstar partnerships eventually reach a moment where expectations collide with reality. The coach wants execution. The superstar wants rhythm. The organization wants victories. The fan base wants immediate results. When those priorities stop aligning, conflict begins appearing in public. The reason this story has gained so much traction is because many observers believe they witnessed a visible crack in the relationship between Caitlin Clark and Stephanie White. Whether that crack is real or merely a moment of frustration remains the biggest unanswered question.
I don't even want to look at this piece of garbage anymore. I don't even want to look at you, you piece of trash. I don't even want to look at you. You got some nerve talking to Caitlin Clark like this, snatching her out of the game, throwing the clipboard down. Who the do you think you are? You are a bum. You are a bum. You are a piece of garbage of a coach, man. This is crazy, man. Caitlin Clark has got to get out of Indiana. Caitlin Clark has to get out of...
If tensions continue escalating, the implications stretch far beyond a single game. The Indiana Fever are building around Caitlin Clark. Every major organizational decision ultimately connects back to Caitlin Clark. Ticket sales, television exposure, sponsorship attention, merchandise demand, and national relevance all increase when Caitlin Clark succeeds. That means the franchise cannot afford prolonged instability. If supporters lose confidence in Stephanie White, pressure grows on management. If losses continue, pressure grows on management. If visible disagreements continue involving Caitlin Clark, pressure grows on management. That does not automatically mean Stephanie White should be fired. Coaching evaluations require far more information than one emotional game. Successful organizations avoid making major decisions based solely on public outrage. However, perception matters. The Fever now face a difficult challenge. They must convince fans that Stephanie White and Caitlin Clark remain aligned. They must show progress on the court. Most importantly, they must demonstrate that every strategic decision is designed to help Caitlin Clark and the team win together. Otherwise, speculation will continue growing. Every loss will spark new questions. Every substitution will spark new debate. Every sideline interaction will become another headline. That is the reality of coaching a franchise built around a generational star.